ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to all who are listening this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in the midst of the 6th chapter, Shashtodhyayah, Dhyana Yoga. Last Sunday, this class could not be held on account of Ekadashi day. So, before to that, we had discussed this verse number 35th. And we can say one of the very important verse, not only of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, but so to say the rock bottom truth of all struggle for any human aspiration. So that is contained in this verse. So ultimately this is the truth. Abhyasa, that is the practice, the work. Sri Ramakrishna and even Swami Vivekananda, they have always emphasized on this part. Like Sri Ramakrishna again and again emphasizes on that religion is something, it is not just matter of belief or your consent and what and how you think things should be. To what kind of philosophy or ideology you subscribe to, that is not religion. Religion is experiencing the truth. That's why Swamiji uses his famous paraphrase, his phrase that religion is realization. Without that, there is no religion. As long as it is word, it is just thoughts. They are like the numerous plans of individuals to do so many things in their life. Once I remember one funny incident. So I was before to this in one center, and the Swamis, they were one unit of that center, the Swami in charge of that unit, and his colleague. So they were deliberating upon the idea of buying a car for that unit. So this discussion was going on and going on. I was kind of person, I used to be interested in the cars, especially they were my one of the favorite topics. And so I am saying, Maharaj, you finally decide on this car. This is the best car according to your needs and funds, whatever you have available. So this would be the best car. So when are you taking it? It's etc. etc. Like I am asking. So and there still these talks are going on. After some time, asking this question that when are you buying the car actually? So he said that if you buy the car, then whole discussion will stop. So all this fun of about which car to buy, if we buy this car, and then whether that will be good or that, all this enjoyment and merrymaking, this will stop once you give the money and once the car comes. So long our religion is like that. So realization, it must be made real. So what is real for me is this world and how I experience it and the way I am, the way I interact with it, with all my positive or negatives. This is reality. This is reality. So religion, the idea of God, and how far it becomes true. Sri Ramakrishna used to say this. He was one person. He used to so much bank upon the sincerity and honesty. So if we see his life and teachings, we can fairly say that probably if any person does not have any virtue whatsoever, and he just have honesty, so probably according to Sri Ramakrishna, that person has chances of success if he does not have any other virtue. If he does not have so much knowledge, so much ability, or this or that, if he is just sincere. So he is to stress upon this a lot. So like he used to say that there should not be any difference between what you say and what you think. Man and Mukh, they should be in unison. That what it is in our heart, that must be on our lips. So Sri Ramakrishna, what we see this, why did I say, why did I bring that topic? To understand this idea of what does it mean by realization of God. In Jnana Yoga of Swami Vivekananda, there is one chapter. The title of the chapter is wonderful. What is it? it says the concept of the evolution of the concept of God. Now Swamiji is speaking with respect to the history of religion and mankind and how the concept of God slowly evolved. But it is also true in the sense of human being in his spiritual journey, how the concept of God evolves. And as he progresses, so does that concept of God evolves accordingly. And this realization, being very sincere, being very honest, and being in unison that what do you believe and live accordingly. That is what it means, making it real. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to stress this idea of work and practice. Both Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna or Sarada Devi. So it is not just, they never taught a kind of escapism that you come, you accept me, and so to say, you become the votary of my opinions. So then you need not worry, you do not have to do anything, and you are free, you are saved, and as if a copy of insurance and assurance is given to him, your whole care will be taken by me. Sri Ramakrishna never said so. Neither Swami Vivekananda. It is for every person. It is his individual. He was not of even opinion. He has such tremendous spiritual power. Sri Ramakrishna. We see there are several examples. But he was not of the opinion that exercising in your power, even to give somebody higher spiritual experience by the force of your sheer will. He didn't like that idea. Because suppose you have power and you help someone, that idea is not good. It is patronizing others, considering low and small of others. He didn't used to like that idea. So, that is one thing, to help any individual when there is such need and such requirement. But intrusively, that decapacitating that person, that is not good. So Sri Ramakrishna was not of, he rebuked Narendranath when he did such kind of thing. Sri Ramakrishna and Narendranath Swami Vivekananda, when he is in the West, and he also from his Guru, he was firm believer of this idea. So, whenever we see there are several kinds of episodes or instances in the life of many great masters, that with their sheer will, they could give religion or higher spiritual experience to any person. But Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, Sarada Devi, and this is what they taught and this is what they professed. They were firm believer of this idea, not to do that. Unless that time has come, unless the time is ripe, unless they must do so. So, Swamiji at one he is saying that there are a couple of instances, as far as I remember, that he is lecturing in the West to an audience. Now remember, these are all Western audiences. They have never heard about our religion or philosophy. Much far about Advaita Vedanta. Now, Swami Vivekananda, now he is talking, he is explaining them. And as he is going on and into his groove, into that flow, and his mind is soaring up. Now he is in such a state that this happens with this kind of these people of very high spiritual stature, like Swami Vivekananda, that They can, without even touching, without even having direct vicinity of the person, they can simply transform the other person through their spiritual power. So he is speaking about that, and one woman in the audience, she simply shrieks out that as if means she experienced that everything was going into oblivion. She was going to have that experience, and Swamiji stops the lecture. Swamiji said at one point it is his own confession that if he could have wanted, he would have converted by hordes just by his will. He never did so. At one point of time, at the height of his lecture was on a peak, he immediately left the hall. Why? Because he thought if he continue, these fellows, these people, they will have the direct experience. And he left the hall. These are two incidences I remember, and one of his confessions. Now Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, they were not of such idea, and they always stressed that spiritual experience has to be an individual spiritual journey and struggle. That person has to grow, and through that struggle he become eligible and capable to have that experience. And when through proper preparation, such experience, without such proper preparation, when such experiences has come, they have caused a lot of damage to the society. So they should be never be given without proper preparation, without seeing that the individual is properly prepared. So importance of the work of the struggle. The struggle is essence of this growth. This is what makes our journey worthwhile. So, and the essence of this struggle is any person whosoever in whatever walk of his life, in whatever profession, has ever become successful to whatsoever degree, he will vouch that it is not just luck, it is not just the talent, it is his hard work. Many times it is attributed at many talented people have said that. I have narrated you I think some class before, the story of Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, you know, he is a famous singer. Had I told you that story? So I thought I'd miss some few classes before. So Ed Sheeran is the now present day one of the very one of the top popular singers for American pop music. Okay. And people are crazy after him. Millions, if you see his songs on YouTube, how many views they have. You will be able, that much is not the population of few countries. That many people. So, and in one interview, there was a small clip in his interview he played. He says that somebody is ascribing that you were so born talented or something like that. He said, no, I was not born talented. And then he played his own clip in his initial days. And he must be then in his teens, like 16, 17 or like that, 17, 18, that age. And he played that video clip in that program. There was some kind of talk show, somebody is interviewing him, and he played that song. And fortunately, he had recorded it, and he kept it, and to show that from where I have come. And he played that clip, and it was so horrible that he would not be selected in the class of 10 to sing a song. He could not be selected. It was so, he had no sense of music or scale or anything. That person, he is now at the crest, at the epitome of his singing career. So he said that people many times they say, they ascribe to it and to his talent. He said it is not talent. I have worked hard. I have worked hard. That's what it has given me. Many people now suppose now this is singing talent. Many people have been extraordinarily intelligent. Their memory power had been stupendous, to say nothing short of miraculous. And they say that I was not like that. I have worked for that. I have developed this deliberately. Winston Churchill has said that. So there are many fables, but he said that he had such a memory, so to say, that he could see a three-act play and he could actually recite the dialogues. Anyhow, so this idea of working our mind, working ourselves, working our faculties, and to get a grip of it. You know, the real joy in life is this, that you learn to do something which you were not able to. That you have been trying and finally you succeed in able to do that. And that is the joy. That is the purest of the joy this life, this world can offer. Rest everything what we say as a joy or happiness has riders. Like they are with condition and they can take you in any unwarranted direction they can. I like suppose eating. If I go on eating, what will happen? If I like something, any such things, it gives me pleasure, it gives me joy. People have done horrible things for that, just for the sake of their pleasures. Just because they wanted to fulfill their whims, fancies. Terrible things. Now, but this is the only one thing. To challenge yourself, to meet that challenge, to overcome that challenge, and you see that you generate the capacity which you hitherto didn't possess. And that joy of growing. That you channelize your faculties, you muster your faculties and make Swami. That's why I like this many times. Because Swamiji's monks, they are called many times to education institutes and to address to the students, teachers. So I always refer to this idea of education. There is one small booklet which was subsidized and sold millions copies. That book, the name of the book is Swami Vivekananda and His Call to the Nation. A small booklet is there. So it has a few pages of his life sketch, and there are 5-6 chapters, and on that there are some under that chapters there are exhortations of Swamiji, his words in bullet forms, in points, they are there. So there is one chapter dedicated to education. So there are 3 definitions of education, one by one. This is the 3rd definition, and I like it most. I always think it. So Swamiji says that the training by which the current of will is brought under control and made fruitful is education. So remember these words very carefully. It is a training by which the current of will is brought under control and made fruitful. Now what does it mean? That there is something, you plan so many things, you say, decide so many things, but you cannot push yourself to do, to sustain, to make them fruitful. Now when you do that, when you train yourself into that and you bring out the result, this was not you, you were not like that, and you have achieved that. Swamiji says this is the only essence of education. Now say singing, now say suppose any sport, now say suppose any education, suppose you are teaching math, or suppose you are teaching literature, so to say. So what is education? The essence of education is this much. You train that child to bring his will under control. Will under control means, and so what is the literature? What it is to think, and how it is to be presented, how it is to be approached, how it is to be created. What does art means? Or in suppose painting, or in singing. So there is something he follows first, he mimics and he imitates. But after that he must develop the sense of music. Like in suppose classical music, Guru has told, now same Raga Bhairavi, suppose Pandit Bhimsen Joshi is singing. He might have sing it dozens of times, practiced several hundreds of hours, but every time it's a fresh rendition. So every time people are again going to listen to him. It's a copy, it is never copy. It is always new, fresh and original. Again he is creating that thing. So he has trained himself, the concept, imbibing that concept, and how to present it, how to do it. Maybe it is science, maybe it is commerce, anything. Essence of education is not imitating things, lot many information, how much I can reproduce, how much information I can give. Now in the present day, of course, because there are so much convenience due to our internet. Now earlier, lot many things people had to, they had to remember, like tables, and lot many things they had to do physically, like math. Now nowadays, if so to say, now there is a question whether students should be made to do that, and what is the use of it, because anyway he is not going to use it, because everything is ready at the click of a button. So whether education, the same old regime or rigor, whether that should be part of education now or not, that is the question. Now seeing the definition of Swami Vivekananda, we can understand how much it is important and how much it is not. There are people who take one side or other. They say it is useless. Other side say no, it is important. Tomorrow he may not use it. But why we see the Indian students, especially in technology, everywhere they are dominating. Why other students are not dominating, or Chinese students are dominating, or basically you can say Asian students are dominating? Why? But all the more we can see, so we see, but these Asian people or say Indian people, they only work as employees and they cannot become leader, they cannot create something. All the time this allegation is leveled that you have not created Google, you have not created Facebook, you have not created Twitter or anything. You joined there as an employee, you didn't bring in something. They all hired you. Now this is the idea. So these two facets, if we carefully understand, we can understand what is this, why this concept of education, because it is very much the concept of life. It is very much the concept of spiritual struggle. It is essentially the same thing. And how, we will see. So, now what is the importance of rigor, of training? Maybe that child may not use those tables, or what kind of hard work he has to be put to go through. But this is what that trains that child. This is what strengthens his memory and psychological muscles to bear the rigor, to face the challenge, to bear the burden and think under it. There was a small one anecdote is told that a teacher, she is a biology teacher, and she has taught her high school students metamorphosis. In metamorphosis, what happens? So a larva, she oozes out that a liquid, a glue-like substance from her body, and from which can be spun like a thread, and she forms a cocoon. And in that cocoon, she enters and closes it. And after that incubation period is over, she breaks that cocoon, and from it comes out a beautiful butterfly. Now this process from a larva to a butterfly is called as metamorphosis. That complete change, morph is form, so meta is whole, full. From in and out, that change has come, metamorphosis. That's why it is called as. So now teacher, that she has taught that in her school children. Now she wanted to show them something, because to intrigue their mind and to create curiosity in the subject, she brought them to a laboratory where there was already such prepared cocoon was kept. All students were sitting around that large table, and there on one petri dish that cocoon was kept, which was about to hatch in few minutes. And she said to her class that you carefully watch that, it is just the time now that the butterfly will come out of it anytime soon. So just see that, do not disturb it. Do not disturb it. And she went away. She went away. Those children are now playing, gossiping, so many things, and seeing that there is a movement happening inside the cocoon. Now what happens? So teacher returns back after some time, before the end of the class, probably to make her point, etc., give the last 5 minutes, some whatever she has to say to the class. And she comes, she sees that the cocoon is torn open, but there is no butterfly. So where is the butterfly, she asks, and somebody points it out towards that a dead butterfly lying on the floor. So what happened? She said, what happened? So one nice student, one good boy, he says that when that movement was happening, she has popped out her head, but she was wriggling inside and was not able to come out. And I thought it will hurt her wings, etc. So I tore open the cocoon. Now, then what happened? Then butterfly flew away from there, and after making a round and half, it fell down. What happened? So because then the teacher explains the importance of struggle. Because you did not let that butterfly tear its own cocoon, her wings couldn't be strengthened. And that's why after making 1.5 round, those wings broke. And with that injury, she died. She is lying on the floor. So this struggle is really this essence, this growing up, this. So that's why I said this joy is one of the most purest and ethereal joy in life of growing up. When you grow upon yourself, you get the grip of that. So many times this drudgery, this world is called as drudgery, that you do not understand much, but you are go on doing, repeating things. There it is sometimes I see one of maybe your children might quote this to you. Remember, be prepared. So work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Be prepared. Your children will quote this to you because I see it everywhere many times. Don't work hard, work smart, like that. So that smartness, a borrowed smartness, if it does not help that individual to create his own, so that child is at disadvantage. Everywhere you help a person provide a crutch, that individual is at disadvantage. So the struggle of life, this growth which it brings in, this education, then what I had said, that you are training your mind to figure out things, get the grip of things, and you make yourself do and grow. You become successful. You surmount an hindrance and obstacle. You conquer a challenge. This is the real essence of life. This is what creates the substance in a human being. Nothing else. So much show we do that we are just after fakery. Everything we fake. Right from everything we want to show. Your dress, your talking, or what kinds of belongings you have. There is one wonderful book by Abraham Maslow. He is one of the very famous celebrated psychologists. To have or to be, that is the name of the book. And he explains this idea so deeply and very lucidly. The difference between these two things, to have or to be. We consider ourselves as this jumble, this bundle of haves and have not. We do not think in the term of be what you are. We are always in this mode because this is easy. What I have and what I have not. Beingness is associated, very wrongly confused, misattributed and misconstrued as having or not having. Being is not having. Being is something different. Having is something different. Having you something does not make you. So, Swamiji's again shortest definition of religion. So he said, be and make, that is the religion. And again he said, to be good and to do good, that is the whole of religion. These words are so simple, because they are so simple, because he has thought so much and experienced so much. That's why those words are so simple. And there lies the essence, that religion is being. And again, one other definition, being and becoming, that is the religion. That realizing God, practicing religion is becoming God. There is no other religion. That you tend to be that. You desire and you practice and you work in that direction. Most of the time our God is our most humble servant. Whenever we want something, or you are at the most some shopkeeper. हाँ भैया ये देना, हाँ भैया वो देना. So the concept of God must evolve, and as it will evolve, so will the religion of that individual, and so will the question of realizing it, and so his outlook towards the God himself and the world. and how he sees his life, his goals, his ambition, and ways to pursue it, then everything will come. And that's how we see a evolved individual. That religion will reflect through this. It is not consent, belief to certain kind of dogma. That is not you become religious. That I am subscriber of this, I make donation every time to this, I believe in this. You believe in something, that is not being religious. You become something, that is being religious. That is the true religion. So, any higher pursuit or any pursuit of our life, this is the only essence, whether we can train our will to make it fruitful. Can we grow upon ourselves? That is that art, that knowing yourself, knowing to finding your weaknesses and to rise above it. I have a fear, I rise above that. Now that is something, that is instance that I have grown up. I have become a man. That I could stand up and say on face no to something in front of thousands of people. That when I had to show my dissent, I show. And when in forum is in a similar situation, when I had to support someone, I could support. I could say no, that person is right. Because you are large in number does not make you right. To have courage to in your convictions and to stand by them, to live by them. When we comes at a crossroad to make a decision, to take a truer and honest decision. Now all the time, every individual, we are bogged by our weaknesses. Weaknesses, they have its root in our selfish interest. Because we are trying to protect something. We are trying to have something more for us. That is basically, that is the essence of selfishness. Now, you believe something in grand, you talk something of great ideas. When point comes, can you live by them? Now that is something when you have to make a decision. And you do not do so by grumbling and weeping and all the time advertising. People, they are so, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, नेकी कर और दरिया में डाल, है ना. So, to really become virtuous, the essence of virtuousness is unselfishness, sacrifice. That is the essence of every virtue. Shows you in its core there is sacrifice. That you part away with something otherwise you would have loved to cuddle with. Laziness, suppose. You do not want to go on time or office, or somebody owes you owe to someone, want to give him back. Whatever different expressions. That but there that person has to dare. Now this idea of, that's why this struggle, this growth, this education, this is also what I said, it is also true about the concentration, about the meditation, the training of the will, training of the mind to make it fruitful, to go in a desired direction. Is also true of success and struggle in any walk and any station of our life, any aspect of our life. So this, whatever you may say, this what is called as drudgery, means, simply put, I use the word donkeying. Donkeying means that donkey is trained to carry some goods from one place to other. He doesn't bother what is on his back. So such people are called as idiots. Many times of such people They have not always they have been the first in the class. But ultimately we have found them to become very great people in their life. Not only successful, but great. Not only successful, not only money-wise successful, or position, or power, but as an individual, as a person. That sometimes if we come across them, say suppose after 20 years, and we would be wonderstruck. What kind of person he has become? He or she has become. So, that mind he is struggling when he is donking, he is drudging, and that will be like, it might be a small thing, but he discovers for himself. Then now this is the secret, this is how it has to be done. It clicks within him. Now that is something. That point, that eureka point, that yes, I have got it, I have now understood it, I now can do. So he has faced some adamantine wall which was not budging anywhere, and he finds the way through it. Now every individual must taste this, and any person's growth, his strength, his ability should be built on such instances. He must believe till then, he must persist, he must be patient till then. Say it is meditation, say spiritual growth, or say it any walk of life. This is the true meaning of living the life. Whether we are growing, whether we are doing to channelize our faculties, challenging our faculties, and are we growing? So, this is the purest ethereal bliss this life can offer. There is nothing more purer, more beautiful, more enthralling than this joy. Everything is tainted. Everything comes with a rider and conditions. This is the only thing which makes that person grow, and when he discovers that, only he is seeking for the higher and higher dimensions, he will realize, and if he has learned that when a decision has to be made, and when he has discovered that something wrong, he will be able to dare to part away with it. If he was doing wrong, suppose, if he discovers that no, I was doing wrong, he will show the courage to part away with. He will not try to protect it, try to justify it, try to cover it up. This is what this ability will generate. A person who has grown with this kind of struggle, who has discovered this, who has strengthened his inner spiritual muscle, now that fellow is undaunted. However failed that fellow might be until whatever stage of life, if he discovers this, then the doors, the whole pasture of life is open for him. He can do anything. Because he has developed this idea of self-belief, that he knows that you have to struggle enough, you have to be patient enough to win this battle. You are going to. This person will never be frustrated. And here, while reading this verse, 35th verse, I found these two words to just denote that. In the first line, we see that Bhagavan is saying, Asanshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam. That he is saying, doubtlessly, indeed, that mind is very difficult to control. And he says what? O mighty arm one, Mahabaho. To Arjuna, he says, O mighty arm one. Indeed, mind is very difficult to control. So why mighty arm one? So do not despair. Do not shut down your arms. Do not kneel down. You have the might. Believe in yourself. Stand up. Face it. Bear it. Do not budge. Do not give the way. So you must be very optimistic. You must be very self-believing, very undaunting. When you make such resolve, when you are estimating your challenges, when you are estimating the other. Okay? Now see the second line. In second line he says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruyate. That, O Kaunteya, through the practice and through renunciation, you can control this mind. Now here he used the word Kaunteya. Kaunteya means, O the son of Kunti. Kunti. Now Kunti's other name is also Prutha, or the son of, the daughter of Earth, or the Prithvi herself, Earth. Now Earth is a symbol of patience, a lot of patience. Earth is a symbol of patience. Kunti's, her life have all been a long saga of forbearance, patience. So he says, he reminds that, O son of Kunti. So here this word denotes the patience. Now, while practicing, while trying to achieve your goal and while estimating yourself, you must be very patient. You must not be overzealous. When estimating your challenges, your troubles, which you have to face, you must be optimistic. No, you will be able to do. Mahabaho. When you are seeing the estimating the results of your work, you must be very patient. It will not come easy. No worthwhile, no great thing, no anything of real substance can be achieved a frivolous, casual, superficial way. You must become that. Push. So these two ideas also we get. This is very nice. We can always remember. So when you have to estimate your troubles and your challenges, be very optimistic. And when you are judging the fruits of your efforts, be very patient. So this is the verse. So much has been said by this with respect to that. Now Arjuna says, Bhagavan is saying that he is concluding, or rather his flow of thoughts is as if interrupted by Arjuna's question. So what Bhagavan is saying in the next verse, that asanyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me mati. असंयत आत्मना योगो दुष्प्राप इति मे मति वशात्मना तु यतता शक्यो अवाप्तुम उपायतः. This is the 36th verse, the next verse. So what Bhagavan is saying? So here, so it's a statement he is making. Asanyatatmana, by the person whose mind is under control, that is sanyatatmana. And one who is not under control, he is asanyatatmana. So by such a person, asanyatatmana, whose mind, atmana, his self, is not sanyata, is not disciplined, is not controlled. Asanyatatmana, this yogaha iti yogo dushprapa. So to get it, it will be very difficult. Dushprapa. Iti me mati, this is my opinion. Iti me matihi. This is how I think. For a person who is not disciplined, for such a person to attain to get this yoga is very difficult. This is my opinion, Arjuna. But he says, tu means but. Vashyatmana, the person whose mind is under control. For such a person, if provided he practices yatata through the effort, through right effort. Shakya, it is possible. Avaptum means praptam. Avaptum, what? This yoga. Shakya avaptum. Upayata, through right means. If he upaya, so if he goes by the right practice and he practices through his effort, for the person whose mind is under control. Now here only point is to be noted that when we say that I want to practice meditation, why? Because my mind is very restless. So what we are saying? I want to practice yoga to tame this my restless mind. Right? What Bhagavan is saying here? Whose mind is not disciplined, for him yoga is difficult. So what comes first? So then for meditation you require then a disciplined mind. Yes, of course. So what about the people who do not have such a well-disciplined mind? How to do about that? Then these people have no hope and they cannot do meditation, then is there no chance? So yes, meditation can help. Now point to understand is the causes of restlessness he will have to deal with. There are two things that you will have to commit, you will have to be honest, you will have to be sincere. Once Swami Ranganathananji, he was the 13th president of Ramakrishna order. So he was probably in some gathering, and so there must have been a spiritual discourse, and after discourse many times there are Q&A sessions, question and answer sessions. So one devotee, generally these kinds of questions several times have been asked since time immemorial. Arjuna has asked since before that also, so many people must have asked, and people are asking the same question. What is that question? My mind is restless. I cannot control my mind when I sit for meditation. But the beautiful way is how Ranganathanji answered to him. He said that my when I sit for meditation, when I close my eyes, my mind is running after so many things. That's what it is common experience of every one of us. That is what our meditation is. Closing our eyes and running after the world in our mind. So what Ranganathanji answered to him, that when you are not meditating, when your eyes are open, you are running after several things. Whole world. That same world is running after you. So what is there is something strange to be felt. That is, you are running, that is the truth. That I am pursuing this wholeheartedly, passionately, and I derive such a joy in my heart to go after the world. And naturally, where it will go? So, there is one funny story said about, there were two monks, they were sitting on the bank of Ganges. And in monsoon, what happens? Everywhere it is raining, and all rivers and streams, they are, they are full of waters, and they are pouring water in the Ganges, and river Ganga is flooding. So what happened? So sadhus, so these are poor fellows, okay. So he says that, oh look, that blanket is going on, black blanket, kambal ja raha hai. And he said, "Arey, don't jump." So what? There's lot of water is there. No, he says, I am expert swimmer. And he jumps. That blanket-like thing is flowing through the middle of the stream. The river is quite big, very big. And this fellow goes on swimming along with the current. He is going, and again it is going farther. And somehow he sees the friend on the bank. He is seeing that he somehow reached that big blanket. Okay. If you have ever washed clothes on the river, I have seen, because my mother sometimes used to go. In our village, there was a small river. So, big clothes like sarees, etc. or they will, they will simply blow up like that. They will form a balloon kind of thing. So, it is very obvious. So, must be that balloon like that black thing, that blanket. And then what happens? That his friend is not returning back, who is in the midst of the river. And this fellow, his another friend on the bank is shouting. This sadhu is shouting, "Arey, come back, leave that." He thought he is probably, because it is wet and he is not able to pull it up, something like that. It looks like a big blanket. "Kambal chhod do. That fellow shouted back from there, "Arey, kambal nahi chhod raha hai." That was not a blanket. Means he said that, meaning that blanket is not leaving him. The point is that is not a blanket. That was a bear. that was a bear flown into the river. Now the bear has caught him and not leaving him. Bear has caught him. Kambal nahi chhod raha hai. So this is our story of our mind. We are running after that blanket. That is a bear, and that has caught hold of him. Now it is not leaving us. How will I meditate? So meditation is not going to. It demands sacrifice. It demands training. People, I do not know. People have made it very cheap. I have not understood it. How I have understood meditation. It is, you can imagine somebody saying that, "Arey, tumko ye ashtanga yoga hai, is 8-staired path that is called of this yoga, of which the 7th step is dhyana, just before samadhi. 8th step is samadhi. You directly want to start with 7th step. Will you care to know what is the first step? He says Satya. First they say Yama, they are 5. Practice Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Asteya and Aparigraha. You are not interested in that. You are not interested in that. You simply want to start from the 7th floor directly to 8th floor, Samadhi. Bas. So, meditation, yoga, yes, the people who have a mind which is restless and they are interested in yoga, so there would be 2 things to do. One thing, he would have to make these changes in his real attitude toward life. So how he considers attitude? Maybe something he would not be able to change. But attitude he will have to change. How do he see things? This is the idea of Vairagya. Here in the last verse we said Abhyasa and Vairagya. So this is the Vairagya. He will have to leave few things. So many times practically he might not be able to. So attitude must be changed. And second thing is now Abhyasa. Now that restless mind, he will have to bring it through his will to do it, bring it under control, train it. And with this training, slowly mind will start to cooperate. And that's how he will have develop his meditation. And this is how he will control. So as he vashyatmanatu yatata, if his mind is under control, as he brings this is under control and he practice right way, yoga is possible. This is what Bhagavan says. Now we are already almost 7 minutes past. So of this our due time. So next Sunday again Ekadashi is there, and again next Sunday 31st there is going to be program in our Bal Gandharva Rangamandir. So organized by Ramakrishna Mission. You people are all invited, and for that you will have to register your name by email, phone or person in our office for the program on the 31st. Okay, details of the same are on our website. Please make avail that opportunity and help yourself accordingly. So this is where we would take a break. We will touch this verse if possible, and then go to the Arjuna's questions. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.